Okay, real quickly, I wanted to show you the art project that I taught on Friday to 6 classes at Niles from kindergarten all the way through 6th grade. And this is the easiest take you can do on the surrealist art. And if you want to take it another step further, if you want to have a whole bunch of different mediums to use, this is just a way for the kids to get really creative and try to really understand surrealism. So what I did is I have so first I had a brainstorming session. You need 5 to 8 minutes to do the brainstorming session, and on the board, on the whiteboard, I wrote sky, water, and land. And so if I do this for you right now, I realized it's going to be backward, so it doesn't work very well if I'm showing you facing this way. So anyway, the things that we brainstormed though were we brainstormed like when you're doing brainstorming, what doesn't go in the sky, what doesn't go in the water, and what doesn't go on the land. The things that were probably the most popular kids really went crazy on were they start talking about animals or food or plants, and you kind of have to, because you don't have much time, you only have a couple minutes per topic, you want to make sure that you, once somebody says dog or cat or, for sky, say they say dog, cat, fish or something, then you can say, okay, there's lots of land animals and lots of water animals. That we had sharks and fish, and you start naming off all of these, and the kids get it. Bees go in the sky. So you start going through all of the different land animals you can think of and water animals that don't go in the sky. But when you write it down, you write land and water animals, and don't have the kids call out the different things because it really will take forever. They'll start talking about vehicles. Cars and buses and boats and things that don't go in the sky. So you can put vehicles down. You can, when they start saying foods, that's a really good one because they're easy to draw. Encourage the kids to do that for sure. So things like blueberries and strawberries and bananas and oranges, grapes and things like that. Carrots, vegetables were really popular. The kids had tons of carrots in there for some reason. I'm not sure why, but ice cream cones are really fun for the kids to draw. So you'll just write down food. And then when you brainstorm the other areas, you can kind of point back to the first area, but the whole point of the brainstorming is to get the kids really thinking about what doesn't belong in the sky and what doesn't belong in the water and on the land. So then the next thing you do is once you finish the brainstorming and got them really thinking, then you're going to take your paper and you'll have them draw a horizontal line. It doesn't have to be right through the middle, but it's fine for it to be right through the middle of the paper. And then then for the younger kids, it's easy for them to just kind of do a little half circle. This is going to be their beach, their land that's coming into the water. So you've got sky, water, and land. For the kids that are a little older, you can actually make it look a little like the land. I don't know if you can see this very well, but the beach looks a little bit more like a beach. It's a little shape of the sand coming out into the water. And then you're gonna, the first thing I usually do with any of the classes is I just give them an example. The hard thing is as soon as you give them one example, you're gonna probably find that example is in all of their drawings. So you might want to preface this by saying, okay, I'm going to give you an example, but I don't want to see this on everyone's paper. This is just to get you guys thinking about surrealist art and what doesn't go in different places and ways you can change objects, regular objects, everyday objects, into surreal objects. So the first thing I usually do is I make an eye, and you guys aren't going to be able to see this very well, but I draw an eye, and you don't want to color. If you want the kids to color it in, then you just let them leave it plain. Let them just draw the outlines of everything. So I draw an eye in the sky, and then I start making petals around it because that's probably the easiest kind of weird, surreal object that it is surreal. And the fact that it's in the sky makes the kids think that's pretty fun. And it gets them really thinking like, oh, how can I change a normal object and it can still be in the sky, an airplane could still be in the sky, but let me change it and make it surreal. So one of the things the kids also liked doing is making the leaves into wings. And so the kids, let's see, I'm not doing this very well. The kids did a better job of the wings. I think it was, yeah, that looks a little bit more like a wing. Like, so they made their leaves into wings and turned them so that the flower was flying. And these were the kindergartners that started off with making the wings on their flowers. I thought that was really fun. They also, so then you get them thinking about their objects, different things, and then let them start drawing. Say, you know, if you want to have a sun in the sky, because they're going to talk about suns don't go in the sky, or, you know, things that don't belong in the sky. They'll say things, but then usually suns and clouds come in your water and your land area. If they want to put a sun in the sky, that's totally fine. But their sun could be a pepperoni pizza. It could be a clock. Kids had them. They were cookies. One of them made it into an earth. One of my 6th graders turned this into the earth and had like a skyline as the outside. One of the kids put a clock in the middle and then drew ice cream cones, so it looked a little bit like this. It had ice cream cones around it so that the clock rays, or the sun rays, were a clock with the ice cream cones. This was another idea. It was a pencil. One of the kids turned a plane into a pencil. I thought that was so clever. That was a 2nd grader that did that one. One of them did a tornado in the water and then had carrots and strawberries, and one of them had like they did all kinds of crazy things. A lot of them did flying fish. A lot of them did clouds in the sky that were raining, things like blueberries. Trying to think some of the more creative. One of them was raining carrots. One of the boys was doing like really scary stuff and had like arrows shooting out of the clouds. But it was really creative. Because of some of the surrealist prints that I included, the dolly prints. I put a whole bunch of dolly prints, and one's the reflection of swans that looks like elephants on the other side. So the kids did a lot with reflections and having one thing on one side and then the reflection of something totally different on the other side in the water. So that was really cool. It was they pulled that out of the surrealist paintings that we've gone over. So that they are, you know, when you have them drawing them in pencil, they can go back in color. We have the little paint sticks that look like glue sticks, but they're hard to control if you're trying to color in stuff that's really small. And most of the kids were making smaller things. So I suggest that they just color them in color pencil or color pen or crayon, and then go back in. Coloring things in, they could go, I mean, if you really wanted to, you could bring in the watercolors that we have, but they make a big mess, and so that would be probably something that would have to be a follow-on project. I think, and then both schools also have the oil pastels. So it's up to you whether you want them to color in. I actually didn't have the kids color them in. I left that up to the teachers if they wanted to take those and expand on them. And most of the teachers said that they wanted to do that. Of course, I saw the next day, one of my 1st graders, I saw her at the baseball field and she was still working on hers, and it was amazing. And she colored in and she had all kinds of stuff. It was amazing. She had cats that were flying. I think they were flying cats and being ridden by a cotton candy cone thing. It was incredible. And they had, it's hard for me to remember all of the incredibly creative things the kids did, but that's just an idea, something that you can try if you want to for the art project. Thanks.